This question comes from Nicholas, who asks, as a writer, I am wondering what the cumulative energy of the hundreds of thousands of keystrokes required to write a novel would be. Well, Nicholas, you probably shouldn't invest in a keyboard-based generator anytime soon. People love figuring out places where we can recover seemingly wasted energy. It's a great goal, but sometimes it's hard to judge how much energy is actually moving around in a particular system. Cool-sounding ideas like solar roads don't always work out when you run the numbers, while other ideas for collecting waste energy, like recovering it from cars braking, turn out to be totally practical. In the case of keyboards, there's a lot of engineering research into the force required to press keys, partly because so many people suffer from repetitive strain injuries. Using data from a study of rubber dome keyboards, we can estimate that the energy required to press a letter key is around 1.5 millijoules. For a bigger key like the spacebar or enter, it's about 2.5. So how much is 1.5 millijoules? Well, it's enough to heat a single drop of water by 1% of a degree. It's also enough energy to lift a squirrel about 300 microns, that SAO, all the way from the ground to the top of a stack of 4 sheets of paper. Not very high. Now that we know the energy of a single key press, we need to figure out how many key presses are in a novel. A typical novel might have anywhere from 500,000 to 1,000,000 characters, so typing it would require at least that many key presses. Of course, the amount of backspacing and rewriting varies wildly from person to person. Some people write straight through without pausing or editing, while others rewrite every sentence endlessly. Surprisingly, it turns out not to make a huge difference which kind of writer you are. If you write straight through without editing, you'd expend about 1 kilojoule of energy. With a lot of rewrites, you might expend several kilojoules, but even then, you do need to rewrite every single word 10 times just to match the energy stored in a single AA battery. Writing one full novel would provide enough energy to run a laptop for a total of about 30 seconds. If each novel takes you 6 months to write, you'd spend only 2 seconds out of every million running your laptop on keyboard power. A novel every 6 months seems like a lot of typing, but plenty of people type way more. The site WhatPulse offers tools to track mouse clicks and keystrokes, and hosts a community where users post their stats and compete for the highest totals. WhatPulse has been running for over 20 years, and some users have logged over 400 million cumulative key presses. A heavy WhatPulse user types the equivalent of 1 novel every 2 months, and some even manage a novel every few weeks. But there are even speedier keyboard users. If you abandon the requirement of writing actual words and just care about raw key presses, esports is a promising place to look. Top esports professionals can clock in over 400 actions per minute, which are a mix of mouse clicks and keystrokes. Taking a conservative estimate, a top esports player types the equivalent of a novel in just a few days of playing time. However, a few days still isn't fast enough to represent much energy. Remember, to keep a laptop running from key press power alone, you'd need to write an entire novel in half a minute. To run a microwave, you'd need to type one novel per second. So, even for the fastest typists in the world, writing is not exactly a novel form of exercise. Thanks for watching, and if you have a question you'd like us to answer, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.